Facebook says Cambridge Analytica harvested the data of about 87 million users, but a former employee of the data firm says even that estimate may be low. Brittany Kaiser made the revelation during a hearing before lawmakers in the UK Tuesday. The hearings are part of an investigation into so-called fake news. Lawmakers are also probing the role Cambridge Analytica played in harvesting Facebook users' personal data. The hearings come as Facebook prepares to roll out new privacy controls in Europe. Those settings will be available before next month's general data protection regulations go into effect. For more on this, I want to bring in Jason Kint. He's the CEO of Digital Content Next. That's a trade organization that represents digital publishers, and he joins me now from Washington. All right, so Cambridge Analytica has been testifying before a British Parliament committee. What have we learned from this?
Well, yesterday we learned a number of things. One of the biggest takeaways, and it's a very confusing story to follow, but one of the big takeaways was that there may have been more than 87 million users now whose data was harvested by Cambridge Analytica. And I think that's the one that probably got most of the attention here in the States.
And Cambridge CEO Alexander Nix pulled out from testifying Wednesday. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he did. I think we were looking for a lot of answers. There's so many questions still about Facebook's role here, what Cambridge Analytica was really up to, and to have him pull out at the last minute, it was concerning. But the reason was that there's an active investigation by the UK's ICO going on right now. That was his claim. Now, there's a lot of questions about whether or not that was a real reason.
Well, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will not testify before Parliament, nor will COO Sheryl Sandberg. It will be Chief Technical Officer Mike Schropfer instead. Why do you think Zuckerberg and Sandberg are not going?
Well, Sandberg's avoided almost all of the limelight for 18 months on these issues. Zuckerberg, you know, it's a big question here, and they're not stepping up and really coming forth on the real details. And I think the UK hearings in particular have them worried. But at the end of the day, we don't have the CEO of Cambridge Analytica testifying, and we don't have the CEO of Facebook testifying. And so we need answers, and they're not coming.
Well, and Jason, what can we expect to hear from Schropfer?
You know, I think we're going to hear a lot of what we heard from some of their government relations people that testified last month. You know, some details, but then probably a lot of ability to avoid the real answers that we're looking for. So he's being sent as a proxy, and we'll see what we get.
Well, Facebook announced new privacy changes that will begin to roll out in Europe ahead of the General Data Protection Regulation, which goes into effect next month. They said those changes will eventually roll out to all users. Walk us through those changes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the headline from our perspective was that those changes are being designed to please the CFO and the financial groups and the investor relations people. They've made some changes that make it easier to get into your privacy settings, but screen by screen, they're designed in a way to get you to agree to exactly what is going on right now, which is a very, very large amount of data collection by Facebook, and they don't want that to stop. That's key to their business.
Well, your organization, Digital Content Next, asked Facebook users about how effective they felt these changes would be. What did you find?
And we found that most users, and we think it's all about consumer expectations. What do users expect from the product? Most users, as they're browsing around the web, do not expect Facebook to be tracking what they're doing. Or if you're using different apps outside of the actual Facebook app, they don't expect to be tracked. And it was somewhere around 70% of the users said that. And so these new changes do not prevent that from happening. And actually, they try to convince the user to say, this is okay. And this is what's behind, what is now $40 billion of revenue for Facebook, a very, very successful business that depends on data collection and tracking.
All right, more to come on this story, no doubt. Jason Kint, thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate it.
Thank you.